Hmm. Hey. Uh, so I've decided to build an app. So for that, I learned Flutter. So the Flutter is a very nice, let's say, not a language. Flutter is not a language. It's a framework more of. But yeah, if it's a very nice way and easy way to build an app. Just today, it works on mobile, web, in the future for desktop and everywhere. And it's based on that programming language from Google. And to build my app, I had to look first, research for the best course. That one went there. Well, it was online. I did it. Was very easy, very nice, and loved it. Started developing my app, and every day adding more and more code into it until I found that the code became unmanageable. So started looking at frameworks or not frameworks, architectures, and how to architect best my app so that the code is manageable, that the is performing well. I found different schools and I've decided to actually build something that resonates well with me and it's easy for me to understand and I'm not smart enough, so it was easier for me to understand. So I built something uh, and then when I started working on the app, I found I'm doing a lot of repetitive code. So I thought like probably, and I love automation. Like I do try to automate everything. I thought probably it's a good idea to build even a code generator to generate my code. So I built the architecture, build the code generator, and I'm using those to build the app. So build an app to build an app. So which is very common now to, I think I was reading an article, a few articles about, it's very common to build code generators now, but I've built the code generator from scratch, so I didn't use any other uh, code generation kind of package for the code generation. So of course, a few packages I've used within the code generator. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the app in here now and how the code generator works and how all goes. Well, let me first show the app. This is the one of the screens of the app. So this is where I put a friendly name, occupation, address, and so forth, so on and so forth. Yeah, sorry, I pressed the control by mistake. So yeah. So this is the app in general. Now, this screen, which is the screen that I do input the data in it in order to update the database, which is in this case is a local shared preferences. I'm going to show here some code about that. Is generated from a YAML file. So this is the YAML file that generates this. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to hide the occupation. So I've altered the YAML file and I'm going to hide the occupation. So I've removed occupation from build, and build shows here what are the screens that I want to build. Here's some metadata about the screen itself. So I'm going to adjust this. So add personal details. I'm going to change that to something else. Update personal details. I'm going to do update personal details, and then I'm going to hide the occupation. So I've commented occupation, and I commented the whole occupation component that's in here, or the widget. Now the structure of this is that I do have a an input field, and this value is just in order to create a proper structure of the JSON file, which can be used in some of the areas, like in here UID values equal as is the auto. And then this is the structure of the input field itself. So we've got a type, which is text field, size of 100. That's actually the size of the 100, which is shown here. Sorry. So this is a size 100. It's shown here the size. Let's make this size here as 90. So we can just make it. So friendly name instead of friendly name, your name actually. Your name. Upsy. So instead of friendly name in here, which comes in on top of this, my computer is lagging because I'm recording. So up. This one would be full name or your name, and then full name in here. So this one. So I'm going to run the code generation app. So my code generation app, I'm going to show it in here. It's going to look into the look into the file, YAML file, and then the new statement, and I'm going to hit enter. It's going to take some time. We can minimize that time once I have a let's say a more stable code generation application or tool. There's a little bit of tweaks I need to do after, like the app generate the code, which I'm working on fixing, but it's going to create a fully functional app. So what this code will do, what this tool will do, it will create all of the files required for a new screen. Probably it's a good idea that we start the screen from scratch. But anyhow, so what it does, it just goes into my architecture, the file structure that I have. It will create the model within the within the financial position folder under the models. So let's create the model and create the services, create the providers. I use provider extensively. It creates the screens and the abstract folders under the abstract in here. So we've got the abstracts as well. So this is the final position. This is the abstract. The abstract is already created. So it's created at 1540. This is a while ago when I was testing. Anyhow, so we'll see how it goes. Now we'll see after this finished. The date here is showing that 1540. And what else? Yeah, it creates the abstract, creates the screens. Let's see if the abstract has changed. Still doing the job. So create the providers, as we said, like under the financial position. This is personal details provider. Means that it's been modified, and then I can push it into Git. What else? Yeah, and also it pushed all of the screen files into a generated routes. So this is a generated routes file which has all of the routes that leads and shows where the files goes into. This my wife is sending me a message. Yeah, so this is still running. It's slow because I'm using the camera. The architecture I've decided to go with is put everything in the right place. So I've got the abstracts. Let's see now actually the abstract. This is the personal details abstract, and it shows that the time is 1556, which has been generated just now. If we look at the time, up to 1556, and 17 seconds. So it's generated now. If you look at even the screens and everything is generated, there's a little bit of tweak needs to be done on the models, which I should be doing. Abstract on the models and the providers, not the providers, models, yeah, in here. So I need to hide I need to hide the meta, UUID, and I need to hide as well the updated. I'm fixing this, but that's the only thing I need to do. So what I would expect now from running the app again or going into the app, my kids are playing, so and do a restart, is that everything to change in here. So I've got, instead of friendly name, I should have your name, occupation should go, and this should all change. So and I'm going to show the code behind this, the code generated. It's going to be beautiful code, it's formatted properly, and I'm going to show some of the code for the code generator, as well as the data saving part of it, which is very important, and how it works behind the scene. So as we see here, friendly name, address is gone. We have the other information, and now the screen is shorter because that's basically what's happening, and it's a working experience. So if we could put like say some money, and I could pick the date. I'm going to give myself a very simple update. Blah blah blah. It's very laggy, I know. So that's not the spelling of my name, but anyhow. My kids are playing. So this is the date of birth. I get a pop-up. So again. Yeah. So I'm gonna go into I'll pretend I'm 6 years old. Yeah. I pretend I had my birthday in June. So yeah. And the data, once I do this, hit update, the data, as we see here, the data will be saved. So, and let me show you what's behind the scene in here on this screen. So let's go first to the screen itself. So we'll go, so easy, it's very easy. So I know that it's all of the screens are in screens. So PQRS, so it's after this, and all goes into financial position. And this screen, as we said, it's the add personal details screen, which is the only one that's been updated. I'm gonna go bring in this down a little bit. So add personal details screen. This is the add personal details screen. It was generated on 1556 same time, and it's clear it uses the provider package in order to maintain the state, the consumer personal details provider, which is being created throughout the process itself. So I'm using the builder in here, and all of the data I'm using Flutter form builder Flutter package. It's very nice package, and everything being created in here, and also that the F key current state saved and validate, and it takes the data, all of the data here, push it into the model. After pushing it in the model, it adds the personal details through a add personal details method, and then it navigates back where we don't have a place to navigate back. But yeah, it does now. Now this one, it says here to do, check here where you want to go and check the execution code. So every time I need to go and execute, but it does all of the work behind the scene. Now how this yeah, one more thing, I do have a service here that, sorry, so services here that does so I do have a financial position service. This is the local storage service. I need to put them in different places, probably, this service. But this is the shared preferences service, which can be changed to like even save to database or save to anywhere else. So it's just a key key value pair saving in here to clear the value. So change this, everything stays the same on the other side. And this is the service created for personal details. Which I use get it in order to get the local service storage. Then all of the and it implements the personal details abstract. My provider as well implements the personal details abstract, and it treats everything from the service itself, so that it can manage the state of the application. So this is the provider. The provider itself, it implements the personal details abstract. It reads the service here, get it as underscore personal details service, and then it just basically refers all of the calls to the service, so that I'll be able to get all of the data. So all of this is being written by this tool which I've created. Here's the tool. Yeah, so first of all, we got the YAML file. It's everything in a tools folder here. I put everything in a tools folder. But the YAML file, what it does is takes the YAML file, transfers that YAML file into a JSON file. And I use an open source project to transfer the JSON file into model. So that's the model side. I'm not so happy with that project because it does create a lot of extras which I don't need. Maybe I need to write my own JSON to model so that I don't just generate for the sake of generating the meta, as well as getters and setters for name structure and extra getters of setters. If you look here at problems, we have 255 problems. It's all about avoid wrapping fields in getters and setters, just to be safe, which is created by this. These are 4 icons I didn't put on press on it. It doesn't affect the running of the program. All of the other warnings here our problems are because of avoiding the getters and setters. So everything is about getters and setters, overwriting hash code for double equals, which needs to be fixed. So a few things that's in another package which I need to work on, probably fixing that. So yeah, this is, I'm not using this, and yeah, I'm doing duplicate input, probably this needs, yeah, this is. So this is the tool in general. Now the tool is, let me show the code for the tool. So the tool is called create file. I'm calling it as create files at this moment. I've also generated an exe version of the tool, and that exe version of the tool is generated using native Dart to native, and it makes executing the tool very fast process. Yeah, but on I can publish that. So anyhow, so this is the tool. It uses yes, this is fine. So it uses path. It uses YAML in order to transfer from YAML to JSON, and it uses as well as it uses one one package called recase. It's very nice. It just create it recases a string. So I've got add underscore personal underscore details, and I want a Pascal case from that. It becomes add personal details A, P, and D caps without the underscore. So it's very easy, very nice one. I've started, I've used this a project to imported a project into my app to generate the models, as I said, which I'm not happy with. I need to work on. And then I do have a file for each creation. So I've got the abstract file is being created through this. So this is how I'm creating the abstract file. So I've got the template. This is the template for the abstract file, and I just generate the abstract file based on the JSON files, and then goes into the form to generate the other file, which is the screens and providers, and even the routing table to route the files. So I've got the routes in here, which is generated using the routing table, something to rate the so this is it. It's just wanted to show the work that I'm doing. This is, I know it took some time in order to get this done, but later on I can use it throughout all of the applications that I'm gonna build. It's very easy. It becomes very easy to build the screens and make it ready in order to code the backend, and also add more other things like animation or other things. Probably I can even write that. So I'll have automation, and I'll have to do the work, the thinking of it, and then yeah, something. It's like an orthodox way of doing things. I know that lots of people outside that do this, but I just thought of showing it. Thank you so much for listening or watching. Cheers.